All right. Well, I have a few minutes before I have to get on to my next call. And so I wanted to jump on here real quick and do this live. There's been a couple of things that have kind of come up this last week that I want to share with you. And it relates to kind of modern audit leadership. And whether you realize it or not, traditional audit and really traditional leadership are really dead. They don't serve you anymore. And in fact, they can end up causing lots of challenges in your life and in your career. And so I just wanted to take a couple minutes today and talk about a couple things that have come to my attention this last week as I've been talking with people. I think a lot of people believe that they are progressive, both in the way that they audit and maybe in their leadership. But what I've been finding is as I'm talking to people, no matter how progressive they think they really are, they're not really taking a modern approach. And so, what does that mean, right? Because you might be sitting there saying, "Well, not just a minute. What do you mean by that?" Well, one example was, I was talking with somebody, and this person has been in audit for a long time, 20, 30 years. They know what's going on. But as we were talking, there's a new strategic initiative in their organization. And they were grappling with, how do I incorporate uh, this new strategic objective, which seems maybe a little squishy. There's not, the standard criteria that we can use or that we're typically used to using in order to do an audit. And so, this person was trying to think and understand, well, how do I do this different, right? Because again, they thought that they were taking more of a risk-based modern approach, but as we dug in a little bit deeper, realized, oh, maybe I'm not, right? And this happens, like I said, all the time. And so, there's some things that are changing in our organizations, that are changing in the world, that mean that we have to become more modern. You can use the word progressive. I use the word modern um, because, as I said, a lot of time people think that they're progressive, but they're really not. Okay. And so wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about this. Now, what is kind of the difference, right? Well, someone who is more of a modern leader is somebody who actually realizes that leadership actually comes from the inside. A lot of people have been teaching leadership for a long time, and it's more about how to control or manipulate or get people to just do what you want them to do. But that's really not how modern leadership works, right? Because people understand, they know if you're trying to do that to them. And so, really, to be successful in the future, a modern leader is really someone who actually works on themselves and becomes the kind of leader that they need to be to, be able to motivate and influence people in order to take different actions. Okay. And there's a whole bunch of different skill sets that go along with that, in understanding emotion better, in being able to know how to manage your own emotions. Because typically what happens, and I have conversations like this almost every week, where a leader is complaining about people on their team. And as we get in and we talk about it a little bit more, we realize, you know what? It's not a problem with the people on your team. It's a problem with you. Now, I understand nobody likes to hear that. Nobody likes to hear that maybe there's things that we need to change in order to help us be a better leader. But that's, in fact, the only way that you can become a better leader. We spend so much time, excuse me, trying to change other people. But really, the only change that we can affect in the world is actually changing ourselves. Okay. Now, in I think the description, I talk a little bit about the Audit Leader Forum. If you want to become a modern audit leader, that is the only program that is available that will actually show you how to do that. Okay, so click on the link, find out if it's something for you. Now, another experience that I had this week as well was, again, it was a leader who sees themselves as a progressive leader. Okay. But I probably talked to this person for about 40 or 45 minutes. And during that 45-minute exchange, literally probably 35 to 40 minutes of the time, the person was just talking, 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 talking. And, again, I mean, that would have, if I were charging the person for that, it would have cost them hundreds of dollars to sit here and be talking to me. Now, I was always taught, we have two ears and one mouth for a reason. We we need to be listening probably twice as much as we are speaking. So again, as I'm sitting here listening to this leader talk and over again, I mean, I can't get a word in edgewise because they just keep going and going and going and going. And we're kind of complaining about their team, that their team just doesn't get it. And, as I'm sitting there listening to this, I'm thinking, dude, the reason is because you're just talking. You're not listening. You're trying to convince people instead of actually listening and understanding what is going on. Because this person doesn't have the kind of relationship that they really need to have with the people on their team, or they wouldn't be having these issues. And again, that's one of the differences of someone who is more of a modern leader, is they understand how important relationships are. Relationships with themselves, relationships with their boss, with their peers, other people like that as well, right? And it takes different skills than you have probably been taught to do well at relationships. Okay. And again, doesn't exist anywhere else, but I'm here to share and help you do that, because again, I have seen that how you can make relationship issues go away. Wouldn't that be nice, right? So, again, the problem is that this person is sitting here. Somebody really wants to get a hold of me, but I'm not going to talk to him yet. Is that, instead of focusing and being task oriented or just trying to get a project done, that's a traditional approach. That's just, I got to get shit done. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to worry about the relationship. Now, the problem with that, again, is that's a traditional way of thinking about it. And instead, focusing more on the relationship instead of, let me just silence my phone because somebody is trying to sell me car insurance, probably. Um, hey, it's live, so you get it live, right? Um, so to my thought, right, is again, a lot of times leaders are just worried about getting stuff done. And so as a result of that, right, they end up doing things that maybe jeopardize the relationship. And instead would have been better for you to focus on the relationship, uh, and the task or the project will work itself out. Okay. So again, that's one of the differences of more of a modern leadership standpoint. Another one is, a lot of times leaders now feel like they have to command and control. They have to control everything. And as a result of that, what they're actually doing is they're pushing people away. They're making people mad. It's not about command and control. It's about influence, and the difference in where your locus of power happens to be, whether that's internal or external. And again, a lot of people right now, or the traditional way of leadership is thinking, look, I'm the leader. You need to, bow to me, or whatever you want to call it, because I'm the leader. I'm your boss. I'm the one that controls your compensation. It's not going to be successful for you in the future. That is a broken model that will not work in the future. Instead, your power has to come from an internal place. People have to follow you because of who you are, not what you are, or what you say, or what you tell them to do. And I understand these are kind of some completely new things that a lot of people haven't learned. And especially if you're a leader in audit, I'll almost guarantee you haven't learned it, because I have never seen a leadership program for auditors that was anything other than technical. And I will tell you, your technical skills, even though they got you to where they got you to now, they will not help you be a good leader. In fact, if you focus only on your technical skills, you're going to be a pretty bad leader. And the hard part is it's going to make your life difficult. You're going to have a lot more stress. You're going to be working a lot more. Uh, and I'm guessing you'd probably rather have it the easy way, right? So again, just wanted to hop on here quick today, talk a little bit about modern leadership. Going to be talking more about that as well. But again, if this is something that resonates with you and you're like, you know what, I want to be that modern leader. I want to have access to all of the tools and resources, even get some one-on-one help to be able to help me become a better leader, somebody who is going to be successful in the future. Click on that link about the Audit Leader Forum, or send me a message if you've got questions as well. So with that, got to hop off, got to see who was trying to sell me car insurance and get to my next call. So I'll see you next time I'm live.